It's 1:47 a.m. Milo is lying perfectly still, eyes closed, doing everything right. No phone, no lights, no caffeine after 2 p.m. And yet his brain has decided this is the perfect time to replay a conversation from 6 years ago and wonder if he sounded weird. If that's you, you already know the cruelty of it. You're exhausted, you want sleep more than almost anything. But the moment your body finally goes quiet, your mind decides that's exactly when it should get loud. Here's what nobody tells you. This isn't insomnia in the way most people think of it. It's not that your body can't sleep. It's that your brain won't let it. And there's a very specific reason why. During the day, your brain is flooded with input, conversations, tasks, notifications, decisions. All of that noise acts like static, drowning out your internal thoughts. But the second you lie down in a dark, silent room, that static disappears. And for an overthinker, silence isn't peaceful. It's an open floor. Your brain has been waiting all day for a chance to finally speak, and now it has the microphone. Psychologists call this phenomenon cognitive arousal, a state where your mind stays mentally activated, even though your body is physically ready to shut down. And here's the key detail. It's not anxiety in the clinical sense for most people. It's unfinished processing. Your brain has a strong instinct to resolve loose ends before it powers down. And during a busy day, most loose ends never actually get resolved. They just get postponed. Nighttime is when the postponement bill finally comes due. But wait, there's a second layer to this, and it explains why the thoughts specifically get worse at night rather than just present. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for rational thinking, logic, and putting things into perspective, actually becomes less active as the night goes on. Meanwhile, your amygdala, the part responsible for emotional intensity and threat detection, doesn't slow down nearly as much. Which means the exact same thought that felt manageable at 3 p.m. can feel catastrophic at 1 a.m., not because anything changed, but because the part of your brain that keeps things in perspective has quietly clocked out first. This is why a small, forgettable comment from a coworker can turn into a 2-hour spiral about whether people secretly dislike you. It's not that the thought is more true at night. It's that you're processing it with less of your rational brain online and more of your emotional brain running the show. There's also something researchers call the rebound effect of thought suppression. During the day, when an uncomfortable thought pops up, most people have somewhere to put it. A task to switch to, a person to talk to, a distraction on hand. So the thought gets pushed down, not solved, just pushed down. But every time you suppress a thought instead of processing it, psychologists have found it actually becomes more persistent, not less. It's like holding a beach ball underwater. The moment you stop pushing, which is exactly what happens the second you lie down and stop distracting yourself, it doesn't gently float up. It shoots to the surface with force. So overthinkers aren't lying awake because they have more problems than everyone else. They're lying awake because they've spent the entire day being the one responsible person, the one holding it together, pushing every uncomfortable thought aside to stay functional. And the bedroom, ironically, is the first place all day where nothing is demanding their attention, which means it becomes the only place where all those postponed thoughts are finally allowed to show up, all at once. Here's something that might explain why this specifically happens to certain people more than others. Overthinkers tend to score high on a trait psychologists call need for cognitive closure, a strong internal drive to resolve uncertainty and land on a clear answer. Most people can tolerate an unresolved question and simply move on. Overthinkers experience unresolved situations almost like a mental itch. Loose ends don't sit quietly in the background for them, they pulse. And lying in bed, with nothing left to distract from that pulse, means the brain treats every unresolved thought like a task still waiting to be completed, even at 2 a.m., even when there's genuinely nothing to be done about it right now. This also connects to something called anticipatory processing, where the brain tries to prepare for future scenarios by mentally rehearsing them in advance. It sounds useful in theory. In practice, at night it becomes an endless loop of imagining conversations that haven't happened yet, replaying ones that already did, and running simulations for problems that may never even occur. The brain thinks it's being helpful, preparing you, protecting you. It doesn't realize it's just keeping you awake for a rehearsal with no actual audience. And here's the part worth saying clearly, because a lot of people carry quiet shame about this. Lying awake overthinking doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It doesn't mean you're broken, weak, or incapable of managing your emotions. It usually means you're someone who processes deeply, who takes things seriously, who doesn't let things go easily because you actually care about getting them right. That sensitivity that keeps you up at night is often the same trait that makes you thoughtful, perceptive, and genuinely careful with other people's feelings during the day. The goal was never to think less. It's giving your brain somewhere to put those thoughts before they wait for you in the dark. Writing them down earlier in the day, even messily, gives your mind something it rarely gets, actual proof that the thought has been acknowledged instead of postponed. Because most of the time, your brain doesn't want you to solve everything at 2 a.m., it just wants to know you heard it. If you've ever stared at your ceiling running the same conversation on a loop, hit subscribe. And if you want to understand why some people apologize for things that were never even their fault, that video is going to explain more about yourself than you expect. Click it.